I am joined by Robert Griffin III, James White, Field Yates Minakaims.
All right, so first play we're going to look at 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
Jacoby Brissett comes out here, plays an okay game for the Patriots. We've talked about, I think he went 15 for 24, under 100 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. Has command of the offense, has the answers to the test for the most part, mostly makes the right decisions, is able to also break the pocket and run for a couple first downs. He also makes a couple mistakes in the red zone that you don't like to see. So they score 16 points. We talk about, can you win NFL football games for a entire season scoring just 16 points? The short answer is no. The long answer is no, but there are some things that if we clean it up and if they clean it up, there's promise, and that, they could actually score 24, 28 points in this game if they cross the finish line or the goal line. So let's pull it up. First one is an example of Jacoby breaking the pocket for said first down. Essentially, I'll let you break it down in a second, but essentially they end up 6-on-4. And then Ramondre's in for help, sees that they have 6-on-4 because they drop out of coverage. He runs and it ends up 5-on-4, and Jacoby breaks the pocket and then gets a first down.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and this is what Jacoby really brought on Sunday. He did make some good throws and things like that, but really it was his ability to make these improvised plays when things broke down, which obviously you can guess that Drake May would do that because he has the athleticism, but you have no idea how a rookie quarterback is going to react in their first real game when the bullets are flying. And it's their first time even going through an NFL week, and you don't have the answer to the test. And we talked about it on the show earlier today. I thought you made a great point that now he gets to watch what Jacoby Brissett did, and then they get to work through why that happened. And not only is he going to listen to Jacoby, who's been in this offense before and typically is going to have the right answers, but if there's anything he could have done differently or improve on, he gets to hear that from Alex Van Pelt instead of being the guy whose fault it was that something went wrong. So right now, it's 3rd down. The Bengals are showing a double mug front. It looks like they're probably going to be playing some type of cover one, but then once the shift happens, it's clear that they're playing zone coverage, right? So right here, no one moves with Hunter Henry, and there's really nobody over him. So it's going to be some kind of one high defense, most likely, unless they rotate, and they do not. Now, this is something we saw a couple times from the Patriots, where you're going to have Austin Hooper on a corner. I don't know why the color changed. That was funny. And you're going to have Hunter Henry basically come into the void in this defense and pretty much just sit down and give Jacoby somewhere to throw. But what's going to happen is and then actually just to the backside, just so everybody understands, you're going to have Demario Douglas running like an in-breaker, and then you're just going to have a vertical route from Tyquan Thornton. So Jacoby gets the snap, really quick throw. Ball wants to throw it around now or let Hunter Henry sit in the void, but he sees, oh, look, there's a defender right here, and there's 2 defenders out here. So I don't really like this look. I could throw it, but somebody could potentially make a play on it. He doesn't like that. So maybe a young quarterback might stick on that. Now, Drake May did do a good job getting from 1 to 2 to 3 and all that in the preseason, but still, this is a veteran quarterback saying, I'm not going to throw into a bad window. I'm going to move on. Tries to get to his check down, but Michael Jordan kind of gets pushed into his lap a little bit here. The edges are good, and Jacoby did a great job, especially when it came to Trey Hendrickson, using his legs and a quick release to beat the heat. He was only sacked once, and that one sack was when he got out of the pockets, tried to extend the play. It was in the red zone when 2 receivers ran into each other. Hunter Henry wasn't open, and he basically just tried to make something happen with his legs. That was the only sack he took, and he's a big reason why. So you're going to see here the edges are good, but the pocket is collapsing. He's like, you know what? I could throw to Ramondre Stevenson, but Ramondre has a long way to go. If he catches this, the defender has a decent angle. He could probably still make this. Instead, Jacoby's like, you know what? I'm doing this on my own. Gets away from the rush, turns on the Jets, and he's able to pick up the first down and get them into low scoring territory. Huge play. I believe they end up scoring here, but this is a play that could have been a longer field goal. Instead, they pick up the first down. So really good decision-making there from Jacoby Brissett, not sticking to his reads too long and then saying, hey, I just got to make this happen myself, and then going and doing it.
And I do wonder, too, if as he breaks the pocket and as he knows what coverage there, and if he realizes that this guy's manned up on Ramondre, so I can just run because he's going to follow him and not try and play both here. Because if he's in sort of a zone in that angle, that guy would try and feed Ramondre off to the guy behind him or to the right of him, etc. But instead, he just follows him the whole time. So Jacoby knows he's going to follow Ramondre. I have no one there. And if he does come up on me, I'm just going to dump it off right over his head. And he follows Stevenson perfectly, and he has enough to get the first down and escapers pretty easily.
I also wonder if this wasn't how this works out, because it ends up being man coverage, but nobody moves with Henry, and there was nobody really here, unless I'm guessing the most likely thing, if he had stayed here, is this safety covers him, and then this guy takes the middle.
Yeah.
Kind of see that. Like, there's some defenses that'll basically just rotate their guys. I thought that was a little weird, but still, good job by Jacoby reading that. It's not a good tell, because this should tell you it's zone, but instead it's actually man, and they're just playing match principles, it looks like. Because this guy has no one to cover, so he's basically just playing the middle. He pops out, and then he takes the back. But everybody,
and I wonder too. Yeah, okay, they are in man because they're matched up on the top too. Because I was wondering too where that linebacker could also be in zone, but he understands that thinks that Jacoby's not a threat, so says, "F it, I'll let him try and run, and I'm just going to cover this guy." But at the same time, that's probably not the best because there's no one else there to take on Jacoby.
And typically, those two mug linebackers would basically both be responsible for Ramondre, and they'd say, "Okay, if he goes to your side," and I think, so you see them both get depth to the sticks. So I think they're saying, "All right, yeah, if the back leaks out, then it's okay." Like right here, I can still make the tackle short of the sticks. So again, great job by Jacoby Brissett reading what the defense was doing and making something happen. But it was not a perfect performance from Jacoby Brissett. And then
let's get into the mistakes.
In the next couple plays.
Yep, let's do it. So here, everyone's probably seen it by now, but he tries to find Hunter Henry basically tries to find him in the corner of the end zone, throws off his back foot here with pressure in his face and doesn't give it enough at all. And unfortunately is almost picked off. And I mentioned it in our crossover earlier today, Taylor, where a lot of Jacoby's missed throws and mistakes in this game, they were at least, misses high, misses far, misses out of bounds so that it's my guy or no guy. This was the one where it was glaring enough where this is a turnover-worthy play because he basically puts it in. I think it's Mike Hilton on him, if I have it correctly. I don't know who's in coverage. It might not be.
I don't safety.
You know what? It's Geno Stone. It's Geno Stone.
Geno Stone.
It was Geno Stone, and he puts it basically in both of their hands, and Stone could have easily came down with this as an interception. Yeah,
Hunter Henry really bailed him out here. All right, so the coverage structure, I'm not sure exactly what this is. I think it's some kind of match coverage because I know people have mentioned, so Tyquan Thornton on the backside is going to run a post. I know people saw that he was open, and I'll show you just real quick so everybody can actually see it. So Tyquan is able to kind of threaten outside and then get some separation, but Jacoby pre-snap is seeing, all right, so this safety is over Tyquan, and this cornerback is over Tyquan, and we're in a 3-by-1 formation. Tyquan's the only guy on this side of the field. So unless the safety, is looking the other way, you don't want to throw to Tyquan. Like, he's out of the progression. And as you see post-snap, it still looks like a bracket kind of technique. So Jacoby really shouldn't be looking at Tyquan unless he just has so much time that obviously he can get to him late in the progression, but then it's still kind of murky. But what we're going to see on this side of the field is a levels concept where you're going to get like a whip in here, a whip in here. These two these two defensive backs are pretty much going to play a technique that's very similar to man coverage, which is going to create a lot of space over here. That's going to leave Hunter Henry, who's running a corner route, against a safety with inside leverage, and then you have this linebacker who's basically they're high-lowing him. They both have inside leverage, but they're playing it where if Hunter Henry breaks over the middle, the linebacker takes him. If he breaks deep inside, then the safety takes him. Jacoby is actually making is it? Yeah. Is it outside leverage? It's hard to tell. It is a little bit outside leverage, maybe, actually. I think it is outside leverage. So
from the safety?
Yeah, it's like, looks like he's just outside, you know what I mean?
He's outside originally, and then Henry stems up
like
he stems him up so that it ends up being even, but he starts outside or inside.
Exactly. But it's not I don't mind this decision if it's a good throw.
Yeah.
Because you got Hunter Henry against a safety. That's not really a bad, like right here, if you throw that high, it's much more likely that Hunter Henry's going to catch it than Geno Stone. Sure. The problem is Vidarian Lowe is going to lose off the edge. Vidarian Lowe had a very solid day against Trey Hendrickson, but here Hendrickson is able to get into his chest, walk him back, and that creates an opening inside. And Jacoby's going to feel that. And look, he's throwing off of his back foot, which takes all the power out of this throw. I think what he wanted to do was maybe throw this to the pylon so that Hunter Henry could at least run under it or nobody gets it at all. Instead, because he's throwing it off his back foot, the ball just floats up there and Hunter Henry has to turn into the defender.
So it's not necessarily, again, the decision isn't bad, I guess, because
it's
again,
bad because the pressure happens.
Yeah.
But pre-snap, I understand what he was thinking, and I don't mind him trying. And he loves his tight ends. Like,
right.
It was a similar thing with Austin Hooper in the preseason, kind of, where he's like, hey, I like my big guys in the red zone. I'm going to give them a chance on a 50-50 ball. It works when you're on the same page and everything works the way it's supposed to. But when Austin Hooper, decides to break outside when you expect him to stay put, or you're throwing off your back foot and you're not delivering a good pass, that's when these things look a lot worse than maybe what the decision actually was.
I guess in the moment, you have to understand that, look, I don't have enough here to set my feet and throw this outside and give him all the space that he needs to go get the football and miss far if I'm going to miss it all. So instead, he's falling back. I don't want to go this far, but kind of looks like Mac Jones throwing off that back foot, throwing the ball short. And again, he's lucky he didn't get picked off because Geno Stone led the NFL in interceptions last year. And he almost comes down with it. But luckily, like you said, Hunter Henry saves his bacon and breaks the pass up.
Exactly. And there's also a line you want to walk a little bit where we keep giving Jacoby Brissett credit for right? Like he only took one sack, but it was because he'd already left the pocket trying to extend the play, even though he had pretty good protection. This is another one where it's like, I get that you don't want to take a sack and, put yourself further behind the chains than you are right now. But you don't want to do this either. And I think maybe he was just too confident in his arm.
Yeah.
Because, again, the decision itself, giving your big guy a chance against a smaller defensive back, is not the worst in the world. It's really just that you didn't put enough on the throw. So you got to be better about that. Sometimes you do need to take those sacks, but at the same time, I get what his thought process was. It's just a play that if it goes the other way, you don't really care what the decision-making was. You don't care what the intention was. It matters that it might have been a turnover, and if the Bengals go down and score, they seize momentum. This game looks very, very different. So That kind of stuff you cannot have. Jacoby needs to understand his physical limitations.
For sure. All right, final play of our breakdown here from Patriots versus Bengals. Another red zone play. I don't want to call it a mistake necessarily, but more so a missed read because they have an opportunity, like we said before, to get those points. He has a couple of guys open. And instead, he checks it down to Ramondre with the defender basically in his face and gives them a short gainer, and they end up with just a field goal on the drive.
Yeah. Also, real quick, I think somebody may have missed this in the chat, so let me just bring this up real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, no, here it is. Taekwon wide open left. I'm going to show this one more time.
Yeah.
One more time, and then we're going to move on. All right, everybody? So, oh, my gosh. Let's see.
Wrong play. Here we go.
One more time. Tyquan Thornton this is one. Oh, gosh, no. I'm not going to do that. All right. But look, one receiver and then three receivers over here. Tyquan Thornton is isolated. There is a cornerback with outside leverage and a safety with inside leverage. Pre-snap, there is no reason for Jacoby Brissett to go here because he has a numbers advantage over here with this outbreaking route, knowing that I have these two guys taking underneath coverage, and then I have the one-on-one. There's no reality where Tyquan Thornton should be someone that Jacoby Brissett ends up seeing on this play. So just going to get that one out of the way, clarify for anybody who may have missed it. All right.
And he's not even open until after he throws the football.
Right. And it's not even like, be honest, man. Like,
yeah, right.
At this point, he throws it there.
He's just as open. He's just as open as Hunter Henry is. And at this point, the pressure's still in his face, and he'd be throwing that ball off his back foot just like he is to Hunter Henry.
And also, if this safety saw that Jacoby was looking towards Tyquan, he would keep getting depth. He sees that Jacoby's not even looking his direction. So he's saying, all right, if this comes, back over the middle, maybe I can jump something. But, there's no reason for him to attack that throw to Tyquan Thornton. All right, moving on. So the reason this is not really bad, but why this is a pretty glaring missed opportunity is there are multiple people open and Jacoby had time to throw, but I think that maybe because of the pass rush, which he was pressured on 50% of his dropbacks, I understand why he wanted to get the ball out of his hands and not hold on to it. But this is one where it's got to be like, dude, you're a veteran. You got to feel the pocket and know you have time to make a throw. So what's happening here is Jalen Polk is going to come into this stack. He's going to run a little bit he's going to get on this corner's toes, stutter a little bit, and then take off upfield and actually get pretty wide open. Then you're going to see KJ Osborne run a crossing route. You're going to see Austin Hooper run another crossing route. And then you're going to see Hunter Henry on a shallow. I think he's going to sit it down. I think Ramondre Stevenson kind of swings out of here to create a high-low. This is very good against man coverage, which they get. Because one, you've got this stutter up top. where you're hoping that Jalen Polk can win one-on-one. And then with these dual crossing routes, usually one of those is going to get open, right? That's what's known as a spear concept, where it's two intermediate or high crossing routes. And sometimes you can get a pick or something like that, but it's hard for defenses to cover both of them. As you're going to see on this play, the defense doesn't cover either one. KJ Osborne, if you put air under this, KJ Osborne has an opportunity. Austin Hooper's open right here. And then Jalen Polk, I'll actually show his whole route. So Jalen Polk right here. See that stutter. And then he's able to swipe through contact and gets open. So look at this. Jacoby is in a clean pocket. Okay, this may be an anticipation throw, right? So if he wants to get the ball out right now, maybe don't go to Polk. You can go to Austin Hooper. You can at least put air under this to get it to KJ Osborne, or just hold the ball for another tick. You have time in the pocket. Instead, what drop is this? So 1, 2, 3. So then no hitch. Does a good job just standing in the pocket, but he throws it short to Ramondre Stevenson, who really doesn't have a good chance of converting this, and he's immediately tackled. Now, again, he's trying to protect the ball.
That's my thing.
Against the rush.
They go into this game with that game plan, with that in the back of their mind all week long. Churn the football out. Don't make mistakes. Let our defense win this game for us. So on one hand, I can see, like, especially after, you have pressure in your face all day. You try and make a play to Hunter Henry earlier in the red zone, it almost gets picked off. So now it's like, do I really want to risk trucking one up in the end zone again, or do I just play it safe? But that's what's tough about the protection too, Taylor, is like, the protection holds up every once in a while, but it can always kind of throw you off, and it can speed up your internal clock, even from game to game. You can go into a game thinking, okay, we have it today. And once one or two guys come free at you, your drop back's messed up. That's going to be in your head for the rest of the game. So again, he should have the confidence, but at the same time, I understand why he makes this decision.
100%. And then, I'll run it one more time just so we can see, but you get him wanting to be on time and not hold on to the ball. I also understand him not going downfield as much as maybe we wanted him to, because this was a game that was more about making sure you don't make mistakes. And like you said, let your defense win, let your special teams make plays, and take the points that are available to you. But at the same time, next week, you'd like to see him, when he gets protection, capitalize on it. And when guys get open downfield, capitalize on that. Like, one of the only deep throw he had was the one to Tyquan Thornton, and people got mad at him because it was uncatchable. But at the same time, Tyquan didn't have a lot of separation, and he didn't have separation when Jacoby threw the ball. So the way I saw that was he's saying, hey, either my guy can run under it and get it, or nobody's getting it. And I'm okay with that decision. I don't really mind that. Jalen Polk was open on the other side. But again, you're trying to get the ball out. You don't really want to hold on to it and potentially take a sack. So you get where Jacoby Brissett's head is at on these plays. But you just got to make sure that you capitalize on the opportunities that are there, because you cannot win games by going 1 for 4 in the red zone, especially against some of the better teams that they're going to be facing.
Absolutely.
Support us and sign up at Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the app today and use code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5.